Oh my God, they did it. Now it's quiet for like a wicked long time.
You were quiet for a wicked long time. Okay, good evening. It's June 24th, 2022. Welcome back to BoomerRexTonight, your nearly daily source for news and politics. I'm RisenLadyHeathen Hansel. What's Up Rates our show from other Millennial news podcasts.
Nope, I got nothing. I don't have a joke in me right now. It's all swears or like some incitement shit or...
We have a boomer, and not just any boomer. We have Mr. BoomerRex himself.
And I'm still the star of the show, no matter what she says.
Mm-hmm. You two eat, sleep, and breathe politics, and I'm learning that's 3 unique perspectives we share, along with the facts from our literal round table.
Every time I check.
Okay, so we have a lot to unpack today. The Supreme Court finally released the ruling we all knew was coming down. So we're gonna get into this pretty quick. But
let's see all the other stuff that is gonna get rapidly eclipsed by hopefully a lot of shit being on fire.
All right, so
do not start fires to the internet.
Let's dig right into our headlines. How big?
So I've got a question for you. How big is a bacterium?
Microscopic.
Asshole.
I read this. So.
Oh, you read it?
I read it too, but I was playing along.
Oh, sorry.
You're bad at playing along.
I am. No, I do not yes and well.
So anyway, scientists have discovered a bacterium that lives in a Caribbean mangrove swamp. Now, most bacteria are microscopic. This one is big enough to see with the naked eye.
Oh, God.
In fact, it's a little string of like pearls, and it will reach halfway across a dime.
Yeah.
So you could actually keep them as pets and see them.
See monkeys go.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway.
And that way you won't be giving money to a weird Nazi.
Fair.
It was collected in 2009, but he didn't immediately realize it was a bacterium because, of course, it's like thousands of times bigger than any other bacterium anybody's ever seen. But genetic analysis reveals the organism is a single bacterial cell.
Oh, wow.
Fascinating.
That is
Where is
fascinating.
It's in a Caribbean mangrove swamp.
Nice. Mangroves are cool.
Now
if
we have multiple reasons
mangroves,
to go there.
Look them up. Mangroves
to go to
are
the
actually
Caribbean.
amazing.
Yeah. I think we just have some of these, keep them as pets.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think we should sell them like fucking sea monkeys.
You're just giving me an excuse to have a mangrove aquarium, which will allow me to have the coolest fish ever. All right.
Well, and I get to ride in a pirate ship there and back. This is a win all
Oh, there
around.
you go. Okay, and wear your eye patch.
Yeah, obviously.
You
We
want
might meet other pirates.
You want
I
a
might
peg
get
leg?
bigger ship.
You want a peg leg?
Not yet.
All right.
You sure?
Yeah.
It is time to
Okay.
discuss
I've got a chainsaw.
I also like climbing trees.
orange elephant in the room. How the death of women's rights.
That skipped a bunch.
So pretty much
Any other
everybody.
news?
Well, I had it tagged as the big story. So anyway, Supreme Court in a 5-4 decision overturned Roe v. Wade. So that was a landmark ruling that established the constitutional right to abortion in the U.S. in 1973. So it's been long expected. And as predicted, Alito's opinion still contained, you said 17 citations?
17 citations.
Right, to a medieval witch hunter.
Yep.
So anyway, which is fine with the other kangaroos on the court. So.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a dude who decided to use another dude who was aggressively anti-women and aggressively anti-freedom, and believed that people are witches and that witches are a real thing, and fuck.
I'd be wildly more comfortable if this guy had cited a 40K witch hunter, because at least there's a potential for some of those to have been good.
Yeah.
And this guy that he's citing was even not even an American. This is from something pre-America, people.
Oh yeah.
Pre-America. He's citing.
Remember they.
But his medieval opinions fit right in with the current.
Well, and it's from
Trumpista party.
Yes.
So.
Well, and it's probably more awkward for Roberts, who was all set to. There was an argument about following international laws and such, and we had refused to do that. So wouldn't this anyway?
No, this has had me on edge all day. I've literally been trying to not think about it because it is extremely upsetting. So let's talk about how did we get here.
Well, we got here because people like Susan Collins and Joe Manchin are too dumb to breathe.
Believe things they're told, unquestioningly, uncritically.
Well, again, of Susan Collins, the folks from the White House said they played
Laughed
her like a
about it.
violin.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was exactly what you expected.
Hardly the first time Kavanaugh's laughed about a girl afterwards.
I also want to remind y'all, all you people who are still holding on to, well, they say that they're not going to go after, birth control or go after whatever next. But I want to remind y'all that every one of these people, when they were being questioned for the Supreme Court job, stated that they believed in the Supreme Court precedent of this
The precedent
abortion. Abortion law, right?
Again,
they
if
believed in
if
it
they-
and they were going to follow it and they would not change it. They all said
If they
that,
said that under oath,
under oath. All
then
of
they
them.
have committed a felony and they should
Somebody
be
ought
so
to do something
charged.
about it.
That's not going to happen.
So Susan Collins said, this decision is inconsistent with what Justices Gorsuch and Kavanaugh said in their
Yep.
testimony in their meetings with me,
Aggressive.
where they were both insistent on the importance of supporting long-standing precedents that the country has relied on. Hey, Susan
What a
Collins,
bunch of
again,
bullshit.
you're too dumb to fucking breathe. How could you be so incredibly stupid? What on earth would make you think that a Trumpista nominee would tell you the truth when asked?
Because she's been there
Where
since
the fuck have
30s.
you been?
There since
Living
God
under a
damn.
fucking rock.
Again, they
in
played
politics wildly too long.
they played her like a violin.
Yes. That's what happens. This person's entire life experiences with a part of America before it was shitty and horrible. And so all of the good part of their professional trajectory, when they left contact with the people who work for a living, it was getting better. And they've just assumed that shit continued on.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they have succeeded in doing real damage to America. Thank you, Susan Collins, for
Yep.
putting two fucking kangaroos on the
I
Supreme
wonder
Court.
what they'll break next.
Yep.
I wonder if they'll take up a fetal personhood bill.
Yeah, well, I had a list of what Clarence Thomas thinks should be next. Do you
Oh,
want to
yeah.
talk about that?
Yeah, let's move on to what's next.
So Clarence Thomas says we should revisit and overrule past landmarks decisions that legalize the right to obtain contraception, the
Everyone
right
looked
to
that one up.
same-sex intimacy, and the
Yeah.
right to same-sex marriage.
So that's striking down the sodomy laws in Texas.
Oh yeah,
And-
don't worry, they'll all come right
It
back.
was the same thing that limited Texans to 6 dildos.
Yeah, no, this is again, the Nazis are taking over, and the Democrats are doing fucking nothing to prevent it. Absolutely fucking nothing.
They never do. Sorry, I've been here for like a while now in terms of no one's ever come back from here. Ever.
Yeah.
In the recorded history of fucking humans.
So,
Because it's easier to do what the
Well, the
government
Democrats are
says.
busy giving up their guns and
I know. That's crazy.
looking to take guns away from people.
Hey man, if
and-
I thought we could talk the Democrats into doing a fascism first, I'd be all about it. But
no, I saw, I heard about an interesting idea that's going around. The concept of be the light you want to see in the world, and it's like literally setting things on fire. So, you know what, folks? I'm very close to that point. Don't do bad things, but maybe think about it. Really hard.
Well, and somebody else suggested that certain kangaroos should never have another interrupted dinner in a fine restaurant.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
walk by and tell them what you think.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
if
there's
you-
no law
if
against
you
doing that. Don't
see-
threaten them.
If you
No,
see,
just walk by and call them what they are. Scum of the earth.
If you see these people out in the wild, all right, anybody who's related or voted for or whatever, don't be afraid to just walk by them and say, "Hey, are you so and so?" And they say, "Yeah." You say, "You're a piece of shit," and then just walk away. Just don't yell at them. Don't get into a fight with them. Just confirm that they are the correct person you think they are, and then tell them
that is true.
whatever
That's
you
important.
feel
You and I
without
both
being
know you're bad at
threatening.
that step.
Don't
Yeah.
be threatening. Don't be whatever. Say it in as polite of a tone of voice as you can, because that's going to hit them harder. But just make sure that it's unpleasant. Okay? Make sure that they can never go out in public without someone looking at them and saying, "Hey, in my opinion,
You're
you're,
the
an
scum.
asshole.
You're the scum of the earth.
Hey,
walk
in my
away.
opinion, you're a dick fuck. Hey, in my opinion, I hope you choke on a dick tonight. I hope you choke
You do whatever
on
you
whatever.
want.
I don't care."
You're creative, the internet. I know.
So anyway,
I've seen your drawings.
But,
Some
but
of them are beautiful.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they're big.
I've kind of reached the point where I think we tried being civil and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And the other team doesn't understand anything but so.
No, when they post
There's a point
anything
in which
online,
your
just
fucking manners are
spam 'em.
inviting more aggression.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
So tell
they
them
are
to fuck
taking our
themselves.
kindness for a weakness, and it's time to stop
And
that.
if they swing first, make sure they get arrested for it.
It's why Democrats should absolutely be in favor of 3D printing guns.
Yep.
As opposed to being on the wrong side that believes you could stop that.
No,
Isn't
I'm-
that the whole?
Oh
Jeez,
my
are you
God.
fucking dumb?
Here's
First
the
off, you
thing.
just admitted that you can. It's like the big fight about the crazy in Canada, and well, they can't tell us what kind of weapons he had because that might interfere with the investigation in America. With he got whatever kind of guns you can have in America, but not in Canada. That's the kind he used.
Okay, so let's really sit down and think about this, okay? We as Democrats need to stop with this gun bullshit. It's not a concern. If you are a Democrat and guns scare you, go out to a firing range and learn how to use one.
Yeah, nothing should scare you.
Nothing should scare you, and if you know how to use it and you know how to handle it properly, you won't be afraid of it anymore. I'm not saying you should buy one. What I'm saying is you should go and try.
Yeah.
See?
Well, and you should recognize that no law that we can pass, right? We're not passing anything about assault weapons. It ain't happening.
Well,
right?
we can't
We
accurately
just got a
define it,
milk
so.
toast bill that's going to galvanize the Trump tards and do absolutely nothing
Oh,
to.
it is. It's going to piss off our base because, as you point out, it does
It
nothing.
doesn't do anything. Yeah. So anyway, when we know all the details of that and we've got it passed, we'll come back and we'll talk about how ineffectual
Yeah.
old slow
Well,
Joe Biden
come on now.
was. He
And-
got played for a
And
fool.
we've talked before about what banning, say, one specific type of rifle will do and where it will lead us down the line.
You're not going to ban one
I
specific
agree,
type of
I agree.
rifle.
I'm
It's
just-
not
I'm just-
happening.
I'm just saying that we've talked about the problems with these types of discussions before
Yep.
and why they don't work and why
Yeah.
it's not going to go anywhere. So we need to stop. The gun thing is lost. We've lost it. And there's no point in debating it anymore. We need to
And it
A, not
galvanizes
be
the other
afraid of them
team, and it
anymore.
makes our team recognize how ineffective the Democratic Party has been.
And the only way to feel safer with these around is if we learn how to use them and we are not afraid of them. That's the key.
Well, it was less fun. She made a good point at the end. I was going to be rude and point out that none of it is going to stop the majority of the killings we're actually worried about.
No.
Right.
Because what you have to remember is even if a gun buyback thing or whatever, it would take 300 years.
Since it's not going to happen, how
And
long
it's
it
not
would
gonna
take is
happen.
irrelevant.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, these people have this
The
imaginary
left does
dream
not acknowledge the
that this
scale
is
of
going
the
to work.
nonsense. No, because it's the
Okay.
people who thought that Obama taking 10% of the surface warfare capability of the United States Navy to wherever was a thing that could happen. Right? They could spend so much, right? 10 times the daily cost of Iraq and Afghanistan for his traveling budget. But if you don't know the budget, those numbers don't stand out as bullshit. All the
Right.
numbers
I
are
know.
bullshit.
And
Everything past $1 billion is a mythical number to anyone
Right.
who has ever thought about. So how do you get one of something for every American?
Here's something I want all you women out
It's
there
going to cost at least $1 billion.
to seriously
I swear to
think
God.
about, okay? We can no longer protect ourselves via being able to get abortion, okay? Which is protected for us in ways. If we started carrying guns and men who assaulted us just started getting shot left and right, I think that would be quite a deterrent.
I bet we get gun control.
And maybe they push something, but I think the scariest thing for a lot of these men out there who are pushing these laws would be women that
Yeah.
know not only can handle guns but know how to use them and can shoot better than cops. And that doesn't take a lot of practice. If a woman spent 20 minutes a week or even less, 10 minutes a week out on the firing range, you could shoot better than any officer.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Christ, like 2 lessons easy. It's fucking basics.
So
Yeah, no.
keep that in mind, women. Now
That
we,
makes me
we
think
need
they're
to
being
up
taught
our-
a
So,
pose.
okay, so what we're proposing is a good gal with a gun.
Yes.
I'm up for that one.
I think good gals with guns are going to do a lot more good than good men with guns.
Our response to the sexual assault problem in the military was special hand-to-hand combat training. And ordering them to report assaults.
Ladies,
Because I can only slap the system, and I want to slap. There are not words. I want to do some Al Capone with the bat shit to the system. Because the system is broken. Like,
Yep.
that's the only nice thing to say, is that whatever direction we choose, we can just start kicking.
Yep.
no,
No, the
we-
nice thing about the military is they understand the concept of if
Kind
one
of.
of you fucks up, I'm going to punish the entire goddamn unit.
They certainly claim that they did, and I think we should put that to the motherfucking test.
Yeah.
but
No, that's how you make it stop.
For example.
all I'm saying is that ladies, get out there, learn how to use guns better than men, which isn't a lot of effort.
And
at
don't
all.
fuck conservatives.
Not a lot of effort at all. So do that
Actually-
and protect yourselves and protect each other.
Women, get
Okay?
together, declare a pussy embargo.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stop fucking guys. They'll pay attention.
Not fucking the guys that support this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there are already guys complaining that because they're
I know.
Trumpistas, they don't get any women.
But it can go to
Are you
zero.
fucking kidding? What woman in her right mind would date a
It
Trumpissy?
can go to zero.
Yeah, make it
Madams
drive it
can
to
stop
zero.
servicing them.
Yeah.
This
The
is a direct
matchmakers can
attack
stop.
on
Yeah.
womanhood. And ladies, we need to keep that in mind. It's not going to stop here. Because, yeah, it starts with the women not being able to get abortions, and then it turns
Oh.
into LGBTQ
It's
rights
worse.
are suddenly taken
And you
away.
can't get
And then
contraception,
women
and
can't
you can't
vote
travel
anymore.
for an abortion.
And then there's no contraception, there's no traveling, there's no nothing.
Uh-huh.
And then we are stuck right back in the fucking
Yeah,
1700s
listen,
where we
Texas,
belong, apparently.
the absolute right thing to do is once you know a woman is pregnant, she should be forbidden to leave the state without permission of the local district attorney.
That's what they're gonna go for.
Yeah.
Don't you say things. The internet doesn't get sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
No, you
just
need to
can't.
specify that you're being
That'd
sarcastic.
be the one thing the internet hears.
No, I'm making a recommendation for Texas.
No, don't fucking give them ideas. They're fucking gonna do
Oh,
it.
So
they've
if you
already
boil
got the
down bug
ideas
spray,
that
you
they've
can make
already-
VX.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't want to play. Let's teach the crazy parts of the internet.
No, okay, fine.
All right, we're gonna come back to this because I need to yell about this more.
And you need to do some other stuff.
All right, so let's move on for
Oh
the
no, I
moment.
wasn't done. Because the part you missed, or at
Oh,
least the
sorry.
part that wasn't addressed, and your good, both of your good points in there, is that each one of these things where someone loses becomes part
Yeah.
of the other side's drumbeat for why they shouldn't be in charge anyway, or have the right to vote.
Yeah.
Right before any of this,
Well, they're
anyone
abnormal.
with two brain cells could run together a good argument for why women should have the right to vote if they can't get their clothes made out of the thing that doesn't come apart after a month, or when they can't get their sizes fucking universalized. It's absolute bullshit, but there's a crowd of America that will play extremely fucking well with.
Yeah.
So, I am giving more advice to bad people, but
Well, and again, if you go back historically, the whole reason for giving women the right to vote in the first place
was to give good men.
was to give good married men a second vote
Yeah.
because their wives would vote the way they were told. So, anyway.
But no,
Well, but they also fought that too. They pushed out campaign ads about how women leaving the home and kids crying as the woman's trying to go vote and stuff. Like, yeah, they went both ways with that.
Well, and for me, the problem is this makes me want to do tit for tat shit, which has always been part of the attempt, because then it's just everybody being bad. And yeah, but I just want the left to be bad sometimes. Like, I have never in my life seen them do the bad thing, like go after a church's tax exempt status, or
Yeah.
like,
Again,
there's some stuff we can do. We
throw
can
an
break
elbow on national TV.
All right, so there's a lot to come back to. So,
Yes.
so let's
Sorry.
definitely come back
I-
to this, but let's get rid of the rest of this stuff that we have to talk about first.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it won't happen.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
I've heard
this
this
is
from every
just
Republican.
blasted.
Every Republican I know has said this.
So
let's go.
immediately with the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade,
Mm-hmm.
you've got Attorney General Milquetoast Garland
Yeah.
releases a statement saying that states cannot ban milfepristone, a medication that induces abortion.
Thanks for yet again telling them what to Google.
Yeah, and again, anybody who believes that Milquetoast Garland is going to successfully defend your right to an abortion pill is dumber than they look.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to find out the exact width and breadth of federal property and where federal law actually extends, and it's going to turn out to be not that fuck off far.
That's right. So in particular, the FDA approved the use of the medication. States may not ban that medication based on
shit.
disagreement.
I've
I've never seen an argument this
is
stupid.
fucking funny. I don't know if it was written under Obama, but I'm sure it was re-upped under him.
Jesus.
ICE is allowed to force UPS planes to land to make sure they aren't re-importing all that dangerous Canadian, American-made drugs that touch the ground in
went to-
Canada.
yeah.
Yeah. Which tell me you can't make the same argument about local law enforcement stopping the UPS trucks,
Yep.
which will be great for the supply chain, guys.
It's illegal to sell it in my state.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
It's illegal to buy it in your state.
Yep.
no, you don't even have to do that. You say it's illegal to sell it in your state.
Yep.
Anyway, so again, we're gonna come back to this because there's just so much to unpack here. You lost what?
Oh, God. All right, so there's a
Yeah.
Japanese man that goes out with his colleagues for
good.
after-work drinks,
That
right?
does make me feel good.
If you've never been to one of those, it's a drunk fest.
Oh yeah, no,
Right.
that's how they
And-
unwind after work. Yeah, they go out, they get trashed, they hang out, they pick up people if they're single, and yeah.
Anyway, so he goes out to a little drink fest with his buddies, right? It was never any fun when I had Japanese colleagues, because, and again, I don't know whether it's a genetic thing or not, but none of my Japanese colleagues could ever come anywhere near drinking enough for me to have trouble handling it. So anyway, but no, I mean, they go out and they get falling the fuck down drunk, right? And buying each other drinks until nobody can raise their head. I mean, it's frightening.
It's crazy. Yeah, they're hardcore.
So
It's
anyway,
common. It's very.
he
Common.
had his little bag with him, and he
Gotta be
made it.
bad.
It is really bad.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so
I
he-
love this because anyway, this explains so much more now.
yeah, so he had his little bag with him when he left the restaurant. But anyway, he fell asleep on a park bench till 3 a.m. and then he got up and he went home.
Forgot about the little bag.
The little bag that contained a USB stick. That USB stick contained home address and bank account details of every single person who was a resident of Amagasaki in Japan.
I have a question. Why the fuck is somebody allowed to download that sort of information onto a USB stick and just walk around with it? Why is that a thing?
Again, I can understand situations where you'd want it on a USB stick. Long enough to walk from one room to another and put it on a different system.
Yeah.
And then you would either destroy the USB stick or erase it.
Yeah.
Right? The whole idea that it was carried off the premises is just an example.
And not directly to the place where it was going, right? Like if it was going somewhere, it should have gone from point A to point B, and then you can go out and do whatever you want to do. But
After the stick has been erased.
yes, exactly.
No,
Or
but
not have the
All right,
stick
there's
on
a
you
new
and go
frightening
out.
thing we could be that isn't the Russian kleptocracy. We could spiral off into Japanese abstractions.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They're a beautiful part, but that wouldn't be healthy for us and underwrites a lot more bullshit than. On the other hand, like they believe more in the thing that made us work back when we worked.
No, and I'm a big fan of anime and manga, so like I enjoy the culture and whatever.
What's their
but-
ratio of worker to CEO?
That's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, no, I just the level of cyber incompetence that took is just beyond imagining.
Yeah. No,
Right.
like I can't even imagine why he would ever need that information on a USB stick while he's going out to drink with his buddies.
I
Like,
I
can't
work for a company
fathom that.
who says when you take your work computer home, you will stop nowhere.
Right. You go straight home.
You will go straight home.
Yeah.
They'd probably forgive you for stopping for gas, unless you had to go into the building.
Right, but I've even read some, manga that has like corporate espionage in it, and it's extremely interesting.
Yeah.
But that's how they do it. Yeah.
Yep. No, but again, simply having it in your vehicle
Their
exposes the computer.
their Gini coefficient is half hours.
Okay, so
All right,
they're
so-
substantially better at their distribution of both wealth and income. Yeah, so
Yeah, they've got a lot of middle class people who go out and get drunk after work
Yeah.
because it's fun.
But like the Democrats,
hard,
they all
play hard.
largely seem to be.
I can
going
tell
the way
you
of
from
the elves.
having grazed the corner
Yes.
of,
You've actually been out with these people, yeah.
yeah, having grazed the corner of those societal norms, you don't want to go there. They are not good.
No.
And I have on at least one occasion had one of my Japanese coworkers, when I was invited to go out, who took me aside, brushed my elbow, and leaned over and said, under no circumstances will you go out to have a drink with them.
Oh, well, he was
And-
watching your back, yeah.
On the way home in the train, he said, this is a very traditional company, and you were going to get in trouble. So,
Fair. All right.
you were the gaijin.
Yep.
We knew this already. What did we know? Tell us.
Oh, yeah. So the UN Office for Human Rights says its review of the killing of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, while covering Israeli army operations last year, shows that the shots that killed her and injured her colleague came from Israeli forces. So the Israelis continue to say, oh, well, it could have been Palestinians. We don't know. Like you'd believe anything the Israeli government said.
Nope.
So anyway, the UN explains that they have investigated, and there was no Palestinian activity in the area whatsoever, no armed Palestinian activity in the area whatsoever. So those rounds came from the fucking Israelis. They shot themselves at journalists.
Yep.
So anyway, hey, Israel,
the press stuff.
when you want us to take you seriously again, you find out who pulled who fired the shots and who thought it was a good idea, and court-martial both the cocksuckers.
You're the military that couldn't take a boat.
So anyway, you really need to stop covering up.
Yep.
Israel, you're getting a bad name.
That's why you have to be a big fish in a small pond.
You have to be the right fish in a small pond.
Die. I don't know if that's true.
Because you have less and less friends in this country every
I know,
day.
that's the big part that should scare the
Yep.
again, the Israelis are so concerned about a college thing, right? That defund and sanction and
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, if you're small enough to have to fight with colleges,
All right, again, what is going on here?
Oh, I love this. So, 3 additional police officers in Connecticut have been placed on leave
okay,
after a man was severely injured in the back of a police transport van when one of the officers, quote, braked to avoid an accident. Assuming you believe any of that. Richard Cox was later, so he's paralyzed. And they dragged him into the detention facility and dragged him into a cell. And, again, violating every single...
yeah,
Right. The officers involved in the transport and handling of Mr. Cox when he arrived at the detention facilities were placed on administrative leave for potential breaches of police protocol. Anyway, I just, when does this shit stop? Right?
no,
How many cops do you have to put in prison before the others figure out they need to stop?
I don't know, but they should really stop doing things that made me wish we lived in a society that was going to give out the outcome of cool, paralyze these shitheads.
Yeah.
An eye for an eye, motherfucker. Or a spine for a spine in this case? I don't know, but
A spine for 30 years in prison.
there you go, take your pick.
Yeah. Anyway, every day, again, it's disgusting.
They had to make the jump from the Norman Rockwell thing to what's going to be the private security of the bosses going forward.
Yeah.
And this is who they always were, right? They worked for the store owners originally.
No, I think there was a period in the middle where they weren't,
Maybe.
where they wouldn't have done this, right? If you wanted to have a fight, they were your huckleberry. But for the most part, they put the cuffs on you. They put you in the back of the car. They took you where you were going. They walked you in with their arm, their hand on your arm, right, and so on.
And then the 60s happened and they picked the other team.
I don't think it was the 60s. I think it was the 70s and 80s. But yeah, I think there's certainly evidence that they have decided, many of them have decided they're judge, jury, and execution.
When did all the Black Panthers die?
Yeah, okay.
So
All right.
they were never a problem. It was never hard to find a police department willing to enforce laws on workers in the mines in the 20s.
True.
Fuck, I skipped it because I should have. God damn it. I was going to go Einsatzgruppen and fucking point out it's the cops that shot all the fucking people in World War II in the beginning.
Right. Okay. We need a village. What do we need a village for? Talk to me.
So one of the Tucson City Council members, Scott Kozachik, is proposing, he says, look, we have all these little homeless communities that we chase out every week and they move somewhere else, and we chase them out again the next week and they move somewhere else and so forth. He said, what we need is set aside an area, right? Build a village where unhoused people can live with water and sanitation.
Yep.
It's a safer environment, and this is the most critical. It makes it easier to connect people with services because they sort of halfway have an address.
Yeah.
And you could even lay out little streets.
Yeah.
And so on.
I've seen. Okay, so tiny houses are the devil. We all agree on that. But I will say that I've seen, communities that have used tiny houses as a great way to house the homeless. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make like these tiny homes, and they can each
You
have
can
their
start
own
with
little
a place that has
tiny
water
home.
and sanitation, and they can
Exactly.
pitch their tent.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what these little tiny home communities are. Is they
I'm talking
have
about
water
communities that have water and sanitation and
Yes.
tents, not
Yeah.
tiny houses.
well, I think tiny houses.
Because a
are
tiny
just
house costs
as
about
easy as
$60,000.
You can make them a lot cheaper than that. But yeah,
Nobody
corporations
has yet.
push.
Yeah.
Corporations push that
So,
sort of thing. But
Again, we'll start with a little tent encampment that has sanitation and clean water, and has
I know how to fix this. Your military days, what did they used to do, like down by the river or whatever? They'd build a little tent, you could take a shower, all that sort of stuff, right? You could do something like that.
Yeah. And probably even get the military to bring the stuff to the site.
Yes, that's what. Yes. I think the Army has solved this already with the tent encampments they've made overseas and stuff. Let's bring those here. Why can't we reuse those? They don't
believe me,
need them
they're here.
anymore.
Every division trains has them.
But that's what I'm saying. Why can't we set these up for the homeless people, and then it's
We were
run
talking
by
outside about setting up
military. The military will understand what these people are going through. They can get to know them and stuff, and keep them safe, and make sure that they whatever. Like,
There are too many homeless to support that way.
Yeah.
But
well, but we're
it
talking
could be done
specific
locally.
cities.
Yeah.
Right?
Not
That's
so
what I'm
much
saying.
Leicester Saints.
yeah.
Because most of these problems are in certain cities, major cities. Why can't we set these little homeless camps up on the outskirts of the cities and
Right.
help
I would
them out?
advise that you should have the military drop off the logistics chain and use whatever volunteer services
Yes,
you currently
yes,
have. I
yes.
would not let troops and the homeless interfucking act.
Really?
I think the first time some homeless assault some cute troop,
Fair.
there's going to be a
that's fair.
bunch of stomped homeless.
That's fair.
That's
No,
fucking.
that's true. That's fair.
How
Yeah.
many times you want
okay.
to roll the dice?
No, that I agree with that.
No, and I've sat and talked with homeless people in Lafayette Park and so on, and I've never felt
For sure.
okay. But you're right. I mean,
Afghan
it only
refugees
takes
who
one.
just got
You're not
snatched out of a
particular-
country where people were
Right.
literally clinging to the plane till their arms gave out.
Assaulted a U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we somehow didn't end up, or maybe we did. I have no idea. I can't get a lot of information.
All right, Boomer Rex is about damn time. I need some good news. We got a
What I
lot of
wanna
bad
avoid
news
is
today. I need
how
good
easy.
news.
I want to go back to the other one for a minute. The city councilman says, look, there's no point in worrying about the cost because we're already spending that
Yeah.
money to
Chase them around.
chase them around.
Right.
Right,
It's
so stop that
overtime.
shit
That's
and
9
start.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
So now we've worked our way up to about damn time. A naval reservist who held top-level security clearance, if he was working for NRO and so forth, as advertised, he had some very extensive clearances. Anyway, he's been arrested for his activities on January the 6th. He met with an undercover FBI agent who was presented to him as a like-minded individual. And he described his participation in the riot. He had hoped more and more people would show up. It should have gotten to the point where Nancy Pelosi should have resigned out of fear for her life. That's what should have happened.
That's definitely how we should pick who's in charge of this country.
Oh, yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
great. Completely short-sighted, no understanding of, like, god damn.
Openly espoused violence to further his anti-government and anti-Semitic ideologies.
And so,
And after January the 6th, his personal firearms-related purchases totaled over $50,000.
yep.
Which doesn't buy as much as it did last week, but wow. Anyway, he's been arrested. About fucking time.
Wee bit.
How long ago was January the 6th?
Well, come on. He knew a lot of really interesting things.
Yeah.
It was wicked smart.
He is apparently unemployed at this point, which
Oh,
is,
good.
thank God.
Yeah, you'd fucking hope, right?
One assumes they snatched his clearance.
I
Certainly hope so.
pity about the not being able to snatch the shit that one knows.
Yeah.
Again, this is
How serious that would be depends on what he was doing, but you're right.
Yep.
Well, there are places where he could know things that he could carry away in his head that you do not want other people to know.
Or he was there for however long. I don't know what he carried it away on, but
Right, peace. Absolutely. So we're down to dumbass du jour. God, I love this one. So what Manchin say? He said he's deeply disappointed in the justices. I trusted Justice Gorsuch and Justice Kavanaugh when they testified under oath
not the first
that they
person I heard
also
that.
believed Roe v. Wade was settled legal precedent. And I'm alarmed that they chose to reject the stability the ruling had provided for 2 generations of America. How stupid can you be, you dim-witted?
Exactly as stupid
Why
as
would
was
you
wildly
believe
profitable.
anything a Trumpissy nominee told you? And if they didn't lie under
Oh
oath,
fucking shit! This isn't the Trumpies.
And it's more like
This
3
is
generations.
not fucking conservative. This
Oh,
is Phyllis
peace.
goddamn Schlafly in its bones.
so if he really did lie under oath, send the charges to the DOJ.
Right? These are all Federalists in good motherfucking standing.
Except they appear to have lied under oath, according to Manchin.
Right.
They
Fine,
all
but-
lied under oath, and they're never going to be charged for it. Get
I don't
over
think
it.
so.
It's
can't-
not going to happen.
I can't imagine if we lived in that America. Just one time, just seeing it just once.
Yeah.
Again, one baby banker went to jail for the banking crisis.
Yeah, the entire banking crisis.
Well, in that banking crisis, not the dot-com bust, not
Right,
the
no.
that
When
every
they, were
10 years.
when they were selling the worthless bonds to the, quote, Widows and Orphans Fund.
Yep, these dumb motherfuckers. I can't believe we're selling them this shit.
Yeah.
From one of their emails we got.
Yeah.
But we always find some way to settle out of
Saying
court.
it's kind of okay.
without admitting any wrongdoing.
Well, and you always make the rich whole, but the working folks, yeah, they just get fucked.
And how many golden parachutes went out to CEOs and shit from
Oh,
that
yeah.
whole mess? Like,
And
come on.
we had them over a barrel and didn't do anything.
No,
And
we
part of
could
what I don't-
have
I'm
prosecuted
not surprised.
every one of them, but we chose to let them go with their millions of dollars.
Well,
Billions of
what
dollars.
else was Bush gonna do?
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Updates. Are we
Health
moving on?
threats.
Health threats. Cool.
So, CDC is investigating one of the worst outbreaks of meningococcal disease in U.S. history. 24 cases and 6 deaths. So that's 25% mortality. So this is a real one. Now, the question becomes, how much of that mortality is because they didn't realize that they were sick with a potentially lethal disease?
Yeah.
So, anyway, I just love this.
Is this the resistant strain?
No. Oh. I don't know about his thing.
I don't see anything about resistance. This is
Because isn't that like one of those like throwaway diseases that like everybody used to get? Like,
I don't think so.
no. This is one that shuts down basic training facilities, and everybody spends 2.5
Yeah.
months in there
Meningitis not
And
to
their
be
bunks.
fucked with.
because it kills people.
right? And if you had it once for like 10 years, don't they not let you have another person in your hotel room or in your hospital room? And most people
That's
get it at
MRSA,
hospitals.
maybe?
MRSA. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of MRSA. I'm sorry. It
Okay,
began
fine.
with an M. My brain went the wrong direction. I'm
Okay.
sorry, guys. Yes, I was thinking of MRSA. No,
Okay.
I take it back.
No, meningitis is a big deal.
Okay.
Fuck all that shit.
Um,
Did you see typhoid?
Is there typhoid?
Yes, and it's rapidly taking over.
Where?
Yeah, the typhoid's hanging out, so the bad places. But it's resistant, and it's becoming dominant.
Oh, fuck. Here we go.
Yes!
Right.
No, I love it. Post-surgical society, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, this would be post-water society.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, too. I can probably make clean
We're
water.
working up
I'm
on that
rather
one.
clever.
Yep. So, anyway, and the other one, monkeypox.
Right.
So, researchers have been looking at the monkeypox that's floating around, and they found 50 genetic variations of the viruses compared to the ones from 2018 and 2019. It's far more than you'd expect, considering previous estimates, right? So this is a mutation rate that's somewhere between 6 and 12 times as great as what you would expect. So if we really have a really adaptive monkeypox floating around, stay away from your fucking dogs and cats, right? Because if we establish a reservoir,
Yep.
we are going to have a problem in this country with monkeypox. So, hey, what can I say? It may be that nature's after us now.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. And if you think our country is going to react well to any of this,
We could barely wear masks. Hell, we could barely wear masks when we were dealing with a strain of virus that had a 30% mortality rate.
Which one was that?
That's the Spanish flu.
Okay.
Yes.
When we had anti-maskers and all of it.
Oh, yeah. That's standard shit. And we'll move on to climate weirding. So this was one I just picked up. Dozens of turtles and dolphins and other marine species have been found dead on Guatemala's Pacific coast, prompting an official investigation. So typically these mass die-offs of multiple species, right, are caused by a toxin in the water. And their speculation is that recent heavy rains, climate weirding, have carried some toxic materials into the ocean at those points. So
Would
we'll
make
see.
sense.
They're doing an investigation.
Or it's the Navy.
Well, yeah, the other possibilities are that a ship dumped a bunch of toxic stuff overboard
Yeah.
or whatever, right? And all the standard shit. So we'll follow it. We'll see what happens. Yeehaw, boy, was that cool.
Right.
No, I was impressed with the number of people being wretched in their celebrations of their cause winning.
Oh, yeah, well, they've been told to be. They've been encouraged to be.
Oh, like you
Rub their noses in it, they said. They're feeling down. Rub their little noses in it.
Conservatives, like the man said, it's a conservative victory, 20 or 40, 50 years in the making.
Yeah. And why did it happen? Because the Democrats did goddamn nothing
Yep.
to oppose them. The Democrats went to the nice
Like cutesy
parties
games.
and got all the donations from the really rich folks, and then they went to Congress and sat on their fucking butts
Yep.
and did goddamn nothing for working
No.
folks.
They did exactly what the Uvalde kids did. The police, not the kids.
Yeah.
The kids died. The police came up with a million other things they needed to do right now for
Yeah.
some tactical purpose.
Right.
Again, Democrats are most comfortable explaining why they can't get a thing done. And I've seen plenty of people trying to spin this as well. You know, they say that the midterms are bad for the party or good for the party out of power, and the Democrats just showed that they're the party not in power.
Yeah,
And
maybe
I don't
that'll
think
work.
The voters are going to take it that way, guys.
Right.
You're banking a lot on this, and hey, I hope it works.
Hey, Democrats, you haven't got long. And if you don't win in 2022, if you lose the House and the Senate, you're done.
Yeah.
All
So-
right. So let's get back to this this round.
The end of women's rights?
This
The beginning of the
American
end?
burning
The
problem.
beginning
Okay.
of the sunset?
So I often like to talk about burn it all down. This is aggressively the most important burn it all down moment that all women, LGBTQ, Black, Hispanic, every minority and
Everyone has needed their rights secured through a lawsuit.
Yeah. Y'all should be worried about this.
This
And
is
those
the
of you who
unmaking
are
of the concept of a judicial
so
system.
so those of you who are sitting there saying, "Oh well, it's
It
just
can't
gonna
happen here.
Hold
Well,
on.
it just did.
It's coming down to the states now, so I'm gonna trust my state. Guess what? You should never trust your state because your state doesn't give a fuck about you.
More than half of U.S. states will have abortion restrictions
They
in
have-
place in 30 days.
They have already gone out of their way to take away your voting rights or to make it harder for you to vote in any manner they can. It's only going to get worse. And
Nothing
if you
scare a
can't-
Republican like
if
an
you-
honest election.
If you can't vote, you can't stop this. Keep that in mind. Not voting, they win. If we don't vote, they will win and continue to win, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
One thing you have to remember is they have already jerry-rigged the system in their favor.
Oh, yeah.
That has happened already. It's already there. So you need to keep in mind that no matter how many blocks they put in your path, you must vote in every local and not local election you can possibly show up for, because it's the local that starts this and it only spreads from there. So if you're not voting for your local sheriff, if you're not voting for your local whatever, guess what? They already won that, and it only makes it that much easier for them to get higher
enforce-
and higher and higher.
And to enforce whatever rules they want, regardless of what any law says, which is a proud part of American
Well, what we've
tradition.
learned is that we now have a kangaroo court that will go along with their political desires, regardless of what the Constitution says.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so let's just
an illegitimate court in every respect.
see what the news is saying about this. So CNN.com has an article. Supreme Court overturns Roe v. Wade by Arande de Vogue, Tyranny Sneed, Chandelier Duster, and Devin Cole. All right. The CNN Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade on Friday, holding that there is no longer a federal constitutional right to an abortion. The opinion is the most consequential Supreme Court decision in decades and will transform the landscape of women's reproductive health in America. Thank you for wording that properly, CNN.
It's not just
appreciate
women's
that.
reproductive health. The same argument takes away your right to contraception, takes away the right to gay marriage, and criminalizes gay conduct.
Well, really, whatever conduct they decide they want to criminalize.
Oh, peace.
Going
Yes,
forward,
absolutely.
abortion rights will be determined by states unless Congress acts. Already nearly half the states will pass laws that ban abortion, while others have enacted strict measures regulating the procedure. Roe was egregiously wrong from the start, Justice Samuel Alito wrote in his majority opinion. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. This is a quote from Justice Samuel Alito in his report. The vote
Is this
was-
anywhere near his citations of a 17th century witch hunter?
I don't know. I started reading it, but I only got about 3 pages deep. It's 214 pages, I think we decided. The vote was 5-4 in favor of overturning Roe. In a joint dissenting opinion, Justices Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Elaine Kagan heavily criticized the majority, closing with sorrow for the court, but more for the many millions of American women who have today lost a fundamental constitutional protection. We dissent. The opinion represents the culmination of a decades-long effort on the part of critics, abortion seeking to return more power to the states. It was made possible by a solid 6-member conservative majority, including 3 of Donald Trump's nominees. At least 21 states have laws or constitutional amendments already in place that would make them certain to attempt to ban abortion as quickly as possible. According to the Guttmacher Institute, which favors abortion's rights. And an additional 4 states are likely to ban abortions as soon as possible without federal protections. Justice John Roberts did not join the majority, writing in a concurring opinion that he would not have overturned Roe, but instead would have upheld Mississippi's law banning abortions after 15 weeks. Fuck you.
Biden, that's the standard Republican thing. This is part of his redemption tour. It's who he is.
Yep.
So,
Just
screw him.
lets everyone hold out hope that there's good Republicans, and if we just find a sincere enough pumpkin patch.
Right.
Biden, ruling casts a dark shadow. President Joe Biden said Friday, the health and life of women in this nation are now at risk after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade and eliminated the constitutional right to an abortion.
So there's at least one state where abortion became illegal when the Supreme Court announced its decision.
Texas.
If a woman in that state has, not Texas, if a woman in that state has a miscarriage tonight, she will not get the DNC that would guarantee her survival, and she stands about a 20% chance of dying from infection.
Yeah, there's lots of women like that.
Yeah.
1 in 4
But those stories
pregnancies.
Yeah. The numbers don't
Come
matter
out.
to anyone.
those stories will start to show up around
Yeah.
midweek next week.
But here's one now.
You got one now?
No, I thought we were talking about one now.
Oh, I'm saying if it happened tonight.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
No, the only one I know was some lady getting treated in somewhere else, but
Yeah. Who wouldn't be cleared for air travel, so she couldn't get to a place where she could have the DNC she needed after the miscarriage. She made it to Spain. She's fine.
It's a sad day for the court and for the country, Biden said, speaking from the White House, calling for Congress to codify the right to an abortion, something that's unlikely given the split balance of power in the Senate. It was 3 justices named by one president, Donald Trump, and 2 of them he should have had no right, and this is me, okay? 2 of them he had no right to put in. 2 of them belonged to other people. This is insane. This is the Republicans cheating every fucking step and then taking things away from the Democrats when they have no fucking right to.
No, they successfully did it, and the Democrats didn't struggle against it.
I know.
Well,
and
This is the fault of the Democratic Party,
Yes,
who failed to
aggressively.
resist
yep.
the spread of Nazism in the U.S.
It's not even that. Again, it's not Trumpism. This isn't the fascist wing. This is what the conservative wing of the Republican Party has wanted to do since 1973.
I understand, and they've now become
This
the
is
Nazis.
the oldest structure. That fine, but if you don't say conservatives,
I
then all
peace.
the ones who don't identify as Nazis already.
Don't
were the
think
only
we're
ones who are
talking
gonna
about
matter.
that. You're right. If
Because-
you're a conservative, fuck you.
Yeah, this is what you wanted. This is what your movement has been.
Yep.
All right,
From
so
Philly-
And I'm
Black.
sorry, but at least for tonight, I hope it happens to your wife or daughter.
Yep.
or you,
And
if
I will
you're
be-
one of the people, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I would have no qualms if tomorrow you were not able to get an abortion for whatever reason you need one. Fuck you. I hope something really bad happens to you.
But I was coming in on the fact that if you believe in Russia invaded Ukraine over 1.5 million ethnic Russians,
Uh-huh.
Biden just said that half of the American population is in danger. And what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Merrick Garland's on the case. Don't worry, everybody. He's got it. He says
Oh,
they
yeah.
can't do a thing.
Right.
Like, that didn't just make a bunch of state houses go, hold my beer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even going to finish reading this article. It's gross. And
Yep.
we've got enough to yell about without it.
It's
just
more or less we should pass a law. And
No, I kind of liked the idea of having women go on strike.
yeah.
I'm just saying I'm done. And women, if you live or work in a state where abortion suddenly becomes illegal, you should find a different place to live and work. And you
Yeah,
should tell
move.
your employer why you left.
Yeah, move right now, all of you in mass. Fuck the Republicans over by just not being there anymore.
Yep.
And if you're dating a conservative, you should probably tell him to fuck off.
Yep.
Because
Yeah.
what he has planned for you is not good.
No, this is
Well, it won't matter because you won't be allowed to have an opinion about it.
That's right.
I hate to say this,
Barefoot, pregnant, and in the kitchen.
but if you have family, friends, or whatever that are cheering this or are okay with this, cut them off now. They need to understand that there is not just political, this is not just a political issue. This is a social problem. And socially, it is unacceptable for anybody to support this.
Just crossed the line.
They crossed a line and they can't go back. Unless they renounce their ways and say that they're really sorry they didn't realize that this could possibly happen and that they're gonna vote Democrat in the next fucking election and get on their knees and fucking beg for forgiveness, fuck them. And I say that having family and friends who are these types of people, and I hate saying it, but I probably will be having my own discussions with people about how unacceptable their choices are and what they have done to me as a human fucking being who has a goddamn uterus.
Choices that killed Americans.
Yep.
I'm fine with all the drugs I've ever bought in my life, having supported narco-terrorism in a lot of places I don't much care about.
Right.
All right.
But there's not an equivalent on this.
No.
The left should maybe start talking about some shit we could do.
Yeah.
This is an attack on human rights. Human
What part of
rights.
this surprises you? As asshole pointed out, they've been doing this. They've been getting ready to do this for 50 years.
Nobody should be surprised by this. It's offensive when people
said
are
I
like,
liked it.
oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
this was going to happen. We've been talking about it for 3 months now.
So Democrats, you start by putting the appropriate bill through the fucking House of
Yeah.
Representatives. Let it
Should
fail
pass
in the
tonight.
Senate and get the list of people who voted against it, because you're going to run against them on this issue. Wake the fuck up. Jesus Christ.
We
Or don't.
need
And-
to do something about this.
Again,
We
I like women.
need to stop it.
We'll see if somebody comes up with women going on strike. I love that one.
I want to see armed women carrying guns.
Right.
There's plenty of states that have open carry permit laws. Fucking
Yeah.
do it, ladies. Because do you know what scares a man more than a woman with a uterus that bleeds once a month? A woman with a gun that can shoot that man for trying to fuck with her.
I know what scares cops so bad. They spend a lot of time looking at their shoes and acting busy. AR-15s. So, go on, ladies. Go out and get
Yeah,
one.
77
I don't care
minutes
if
in
you
the hall.
want to get one that's pink and glittery and awesome. That's even scarier. Could you imagine how scary it is for a guy? The thought of being shot by a pink glitter-covered gun.
Shortcake gun.
Oh my god!
Again, this is not an invitation to go out and shoot people.
Yeah, don't.
But again, open carry is perfectly
I will
legal
say
in many, many states.
That if a man
And I think
attacks
if a
you,
bunch of women show up
yeah.
exercising their right to open carry,
if a person attacks you, I have no qualms with you using a gun. There's stand your ground laws in many a state. Learn your laws. Learn the laws for your local state and go with that, ladies.
This has got to matter.
This has to count for something. And the only way we can change it is the same
the
way
craziest
they
way.
did. The same way they did. They used fear. We can use it too.
so go on strike.
And shit, left hasn't blown anyone up since the 60s.
So, on that
Don't blow
note,
anyone up the internet.
don't fucking shoot people. It's not okay. But it is okay to defend yourself. Keep that in mind. Don't be afraid. And don't
And it's
forget,
okay to demonstrate that you are capable of doing so.
Yeah. if a ton of women start showing up at shooting ranges every week practicing, a lot of people are going to take notice.
Yeah.
Fucking do it. All right. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, heart, follow, review. Smash that like button on YouTube. Go to BoomerRexTonight, no spaces on Facebook for fun memes and a link to our Patreon. Give us $1. You can find us on YouTube as BoomerRex or check your favorite podcasting service for BoomerRexTonight. We can be found on over a dozen different platforms, including Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Samsung Podcasts. Hit us up on Twitter at BRexTonight. And if you Google BoomerRexTonight, no spaces, all links will lead you to us. We love you all. These are scary times. You can defend yourselves. You know how.
Good luck, everybody.
Fucking do
Yep.
it. And be fucking amazing to each other. Be polite. Be loving. And we'll see you back here on Monday for Just the News on BoomerRexTonight.